If you were to trade the number 1 pick, who would you trade it for? Let's get into that, gentlemen, because presumptively Cooper Flagg is going to be the number 1 overall pick coming to the Dallas Mavericks. But Tim Cato, if you were to trade the number 1 pick, who would you trade it for?
No one.
You just wouldn't do it?
You wouldn't do it at all?
Yeah, I would not.
There's no possible package out there. Like, I guess within the realm of reality.
Sure.
There's no realistic package.
Well, honestly, I think if you put aside realism and you say Cooper for Giannis, and it doesn't come at the expense of shipping out all of the, all of the salary matching needed and all of that stuff, it's at least interesting. But no, I would not do that. I'm trying to think is there any name, not even realistic ones, that you would consider? Amen Thompson?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
So
Bobby loves Amen Thompson.
I mean,
that would be very interesting to me, and you would have to, if you're Cooper Flagg's biggest fan, you would have to like cut the phone line and tie my hands behind my back and like blindfold me to get me to, because I might do that. I would probably do that. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would trade him for Amen straight up, but I don't think the Rockets would, so it almost doesn't even matter,
So what did we talk about in the very first segment? What did we talk about?
Well, so many
Creation.
things.
Creation.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Guards. Someone who can attract the attention of defenses, who can create, who can score. This might be a little out there for some of you.
I just don't think Ja Morant really fits.
No. He's probably going to be this year's NBA MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be a guy that I would seriously think about trading the number 1 pick for. If you're gonna allow me to keep Davis, Lively, Gafford, and that front court, and I got a chance to go get a guy that can create for all of them and go get his own offense, SGA might be the guy that if you call me and say, hey, we'll give you SGA for Cooper Flagg, I would.
Well, you do have to match the salaries, though, so it's not just that, and like, obviously, if we erase the rules.
Yeah, if we erase the rules,
like, to be honest. But,
if we erase the rules.
That's like and I think that's just something that a lot of fans don't know.
Yes.
You do have to come within 10% of the player's salary.
Right.
Giannis makes $54 million. Shai, I believe, only makes like 40, maybe, or even less because of his rookie scale extension and all that stuff. So it's easier to match. Cooper's first year salary is going to be about $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a better fake Thunder trade. Would you trade J-Dub and Chet?
That's what I was going to get to.
Oh.
That's what I was going to get to. So
that is truly fascinating to me as a basketball experiment.
the trendy, the trendy. I don't know how trendy this is. I follow a bunch of freakazoids on Twitter. Just a bunch of nasty basketball fans. Would OKC, because Jalen Williams is not having a great playoff.
No.
Especially a great series against the Nuggets, but he's not having a great playoff run. Last year, he didn't have that good of a series at all against the Mavs. Would OKC maybe lose patience and say, we're the number 1 seed? If they lose to the Nuggets, or if they don't win the title, we're the number 1 seed last year, got bounced in the second round. We're the number 1 seed this year, won 68 games, lost in the second round, or the conference final, or the final. I don't know if we want to wait for Jalen Williams to grow.
See, I don't know, because he was an all-star this year. He's probably going to make an all-NBA team this year. I don't know, man. Like, if you're going to do that, you would have to do it now, because otherwise the kickers come in for Supermax.
His extension comes in,
I think Cooper is going to be a better defensive player than Chet. I don't.
They're different kind of defenders.
They're different type of defenders, but I think that Cooper has the ceiling to be better than both of those players.
Cooper has the defensive potential, I think, to be one of those guys that disrupts the possession every possession. Like, where you notice him every possession.
Yes.
Very, very rare air.
I am losing.
Scottie Pippen comes to mind when I hear something like that.
I'm losing a lot of faith in Chet Holmgren, the offensive player. And
he's still very young, though.
Yeah.
I'm not, but that's the thing. J-Dub's been bad, and I'm not losing faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got it. Chet is, I think, a ways out, whereas J-Dub, it just could click as soon as next year. I don't see Like, who's Chet going to be at his best? At his best, he could be a first-team all-defense guy. Like, I'm not taking that away from him. He is really, really, really good on that end. Is he going to be? I don't think he's ever going to be Porzingis on offense. I don't think he has the shooting mechanics to be that type of player. And so then you're going into, is he going to be a Brook Lopez type? Is he going to be? I don't think we've seen enough just self-creation, even in spurts that leads you to thinking that he's going to be anything more than like the fourth best offensive player in any starting lineup. So I'm not sure I'd make that deal, but
dude, you get two of those guys. I don't know, man.
Also, it's really funny that
you would have Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, and
realistically
Lively and Chet.
Realistically, OKC obviously is not actually going to do the seal. But it is funny to think about how they could look at those two players and be like,
"You're late, Clarence." You're late.
It's pretty funny that they could look at that scenario and be like, "The 24-year-old and the 21-year-old, we're gonna shift to a win now approach with the 18-year-old."
Dude, OKC would. I bet you. I don't want to say it, but I bet you a lot. OKC would trade Jalen Williams for Cooper Flagg right now. Not even in the middle of the series. I bet you they would do that.
See, and
you think they do Chet for sure.
We're talking about Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You think like Cooper Flagg and OKC, it would change their lives.
Well, I think they've got to try to start maximizing their potential to win like very, very soon. And obviously Cooper Flagg allows you to do some of that down the road. But if you look at their situation, you're talking about, J-Dub and Chet Holmgren. They've got the requisite picks, the young talent. They could be the ones that look up north and be, hey,
Giannis, yeah.
By the way, we've got a win now situation. If we pair you and SGA together.
Chet, J-Dub, and some money for Giannis.
I mean, I think it would work quite a bit. And obviously all the hordes of picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have.
Pretty nasty.
That would be pretty damn, good for them if they decided to go down
nasty.
that road.
Clarence, is that a bad trade?
Are we talking about trading Cooper Flagg?
No.
Are we even considering trading?
The hypothetical is what would you trade him for?
Why are we dealing with hypotheticals?
Because
on Cooper.
Here, I'm gonna stand up. Here, you can sit down.
Because we've
here. You sit down for a second.
We've spent all week talking about what he would bring to the team, and then there have been fans that are like, doesn't matter, Nico's going to trade it anyway. We're like, no, he's not. But if they did, then what is there anything that you would trade the pick for?
Nico has learned his lesson. Dallas has learned his lesson. They're not trading.
Is that source reporting? You breaking news?
I am speaking with authority. See, when you've been around, so I speak with authority. You can speak with authority here, knowing the backstory and everything else. We can really speak with authority that they're not trading Cooper Flagg.
I agree.
I agree as well.
So you can write with authority, speak with authority. That's not breaking news because
it's breaking news.
The Cowboys
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys podcast. Clarence Hill reports the Mavericks are not trading Cooper Flagg. We did. He's on here.
I mean,
he was giving KG a big hug.
Listen, Cooper is the man. But I did have a hypothetical on Twitter the other day.
Uh-oh. Is it a trade?
It was a trade.
It better be hypothetical.
It was funny.
Okay. It better be funny.
Because
be.
Everybody said, Nico's just going to trade him. Well, how about this? If Nico's going to trade him, let's trade him to the Lakers. Let's bring back Luka. Let's trade him to the Lakers for Luka and LeBron. So now you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got Luka, you like LeBron, you got Lively, you got Gafford, you got PJ, you got Kyrie. You win now, you still got Luka for the future. I'm just saying, if you're gonna go scorched earth and say you're gonna trade him, let's do that.
I would not trade Cooper Flagg for Luka.
I agree.
Is that weird to say?
But I said Luka and LeBron to put him with, because they couldn't win out there because they're no big man, right?
You trading AD for that too?
No, I'm not trading AD. So we still got AD.
You got to match. They make $100 million
start
combined.
7 players?
No, I do. I'm just talking. We're just talking hypothetically.
Sure, yeah.
That's the problem.
In a world, in
this real world, I understand you got to make the money fit. But if you want to go score, he's just going to trade him like he did. Okay, fine, trade him to the Lakers. Bring me LeBron. Bring me Luka. You still got AD. You still got Lively. You still got Gafford. You still got Kyrie. You still got PJ. Put that together.
If you're going,
are you bringing Dorian Finney-Smith home?
Yeah, bring Dodo or I'm not interested.
Okay, Doe is the
Honestly,
one. Doe is the one.
Take LeBron out of that trade. Just put Dorian Finney-Smith in.
Wow.
I think everybody would be way happier.
Wow. That's okay. Listen. Be mad at Nico. Root for the Mavs. Be mad at Nico. Root for the Mavs. Now you Maverick fans understand what Cowboy fans go through. Mad at Jerry. Mad how they do business. They still buy tickets. They still show up.
They get George Pickens. I believe.
Be mad at Nico.
This is their year.
Root for the Mavs.
This is their year.
Root for the home team. No more Laker fans in Oak Cliff.
No more Baker fans.
No, that's the real thing about Cooper is that as much as we talk about the hypotheticals and value and all this stuff, getting Cooper is a chance to go on a journey with a player whose ceiling you just don't know. And that's what makes him untradeable in the end, is that I think it's the coolest thing about fandom. When your team gets a player and you get to see whether he's going to be like just how good he can be, like one of those players that might be a legendary player of the game, might be a Hall of Famer, and you get to see them ascend. I think the ascension is one of the coolest things.
Well, yeah, and that's what
sports.
made the Luka trade such a bummer. Is
Right.
like his story wasn't over yet.
Right.
You know, you wanted to see how it finished. Now we get to begin again, which is romantic and awesome. But
We hope.
hopefully we get to see the conclusion too one day.